Hey guys, today I'm going through a slightly harder LNAT essay question. You've had the chance to read this. I've already put in my comments. So the first thing you need to do is figure out what such a question is actually asking you to argue. I've set out what I understand it to be in the first paragraph. With questions like this, you'll find that you might have to rearrange the structure a little bit. I've kind of integrated defining some of the terms into my main body, and that's completely fine. Just answer it in a way that makes sense to you. Let's start straight in with one good thing and one bad thing. Added comments already. For the introduction, again, I like the fact that I've tried to concisely tackle the first claim. What I don't like is that it's not very developed. So these two things tackle the first claim. To make this obvious, I could have done some subheadings, I could have merged this into one paragraph, and that would have just made it a lot neater. I like the fact that there are logical chains of reasoning, but what I've done here is I've made a claim, the claim being that most same-sex marriages are not officiated by religious institutions. And this might be true, but I had no idea at the time that I was writing this. It was just purely vibes based. If a claim is crucial to your argument, then you should make sure that it's correct. Now, moving on to the second part of the essay, I think this is where the second part stands, because now it's okay, I agree with the comment, but what does that have to do with abolishing marriage? And my view is that even if the comment's true, that doesn't mean marriage should be abolished, and I start arguing why that's the case. This is good. It's identified that I'm moving on to the next part of my argument. Again, I feel like some subheadings would have been fine. So don't be afraid to use them if that makes your argument easier to follow. Another issue that I have here is that the sentences are really wordy. For example, this last sentence. Okay, now moving on to some of the reasons why I say that we shouldn't abolish marriage as a legal concept. The first thing is I like that there's some legal knowledge here, but I think that this paragraph is severely underdeveloped at places. Why is the legal recognition of family ties such an important purpose? I've given evidence to show that that is a purpose of marriage, but I don't think I've quite developed this enough. And this is such a crucial part of my argument that I should have given it way more love here. I hope you know what I'm going to say at this point. This is not a counter argument, it's a counter sentence. When you're discussing and bringing in counter arguments, you need to flesh them out fully, just as you would, almost as well as you would your own. I like the way that I've responded to it in a two-part way. You don't need to have loads of counter arguments if you do a thorough enough response to one. One thing I will point out is, and I've had some people comment this on the previous video, is whether this structure is fine or whether it really should be argument, counter argument, argument, counter argument. I prefer the argument, counter argument, argument, counter argument one, because it's more conversational and you can make the counters relevant to your argument. And then when you dismantle the counters, it makes your argument stronger. But this is also a fine way of doing it. There's nothing wrong with doing it like this, that I know of anyway. I like the conclusion generally. It summarizes what I understood the question to be and what was argued, which is especially important when the question's difficult and you don't know what you're really arguing with questions like this sometimes. But I don't like the fact that I've used phrases like this. you need to be able to back up big claims, and things like these are big claims. Have I really proved anything in this essay, or have I just attempted to convince the reader of various things? I think the latter's more likely, and same with stuff like everyone knows. No, everyone doesn't know. It's obvious. Might not be obvious. Don't set the bar too high. I hope this was useful. I know it was very fast. If you guys would like me to do more videos like this, let me know if you have any questions or comments. Yeah, have a good rest of the break, and I will see you in another video.